This is the Rod Langway Fan Club.
Welcome, everybody, to the Rod Langway Fan Club podcast. I am your host, Jeff Rollman. We've only got a few weeks left of the regular season. This is our Stretch Run Report. I'm with a couple of co-hosts who are always at their best down the stretch, Mr. Mark Czeknita.
In a weird turn of events, I actually didn't do my morning stretches, but I'm ready for this stretch.
And John Snowden.
I was actually coaxed into stretching by a YouTube advertisement, and I spilled my favorite coffee all over the coffee table. It was a disastrous morning, but I'm ready to go for the podcast here.
This has been one of the most unbelievable regular seasons we've seen in quite some time. We've got battles for home ice. We've also got battles just to make the playoffs. Where would you guys like to begin?
That's a very nice general statement, but now it's time to get specific. Let's move on to the Pacific.
Terrific.
Okay, well, I think a lot of people were assuming at the start of the season that there were two top dogs in this division, the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. But the Anaheim Ducks have surprised everybody. They are now sitting atop this division. Can they maintain this?
Yeah, the Ducks are flying high right now, and I see no reason why they're going to fall back down to earth. And if you look at the two main rivals, the Oilers have just lost Draisaitl for the regular season, and there's something just looks a little bit off with the Vegas Knights right now.
Yes, both of these teams have a lot of serious questions between the pipes.
For sure. I mean, if I had to make a call on which team I think is actually going to lead the division, it's a tough one. But I really do like the Anaheim Ducks here. I think they're an exciting team. They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of young players. And I think of the three, you mentioned the goaltending problem. They got the best goaltending of this group. It's going to be a big surprise. And I think they're going to lead the division.
Yeah, I like Lucas Dostal. I love the addition of John Carlson at the deadline. I think they've got a right blend of veterans and youth, and they're hungry for it. So yeah, I think the Ducks will take this division.
You certainly cannot count out the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. They are battle-tested teams, and I think they're going to battle hard until the end.
Okay, well, how about we move on to the top teams in the Central Division here? Colorado has been the best team throughout the entire regular season, and they still are. They have tailed off a little, and the Dallas Stars are nipping at their heels. They've been one of the hottest teams in the NHL. So can Colorado maintain that position? And also Minnesota, where do they stand in the division?
Yeah, it was just a few weeks ago I figured Colorado was home and cooled with the division title, President's Trophy. But watch out, because here come the Dallas Stars. They're charging hard. They actually just beat Colorado recently. And there's another matchup between these teams on April 4th. I cannot wait for that. And I think by that point, both Mikko Rantanen and Roope Hintz should be back. So when they get a full roster again, I don't know. I could see them taking this division. They're not that far behind, and they look like they're the stronger team at this point.
They do. I think Colorado is still making some adjustments from the trade moves. They got Kadri. I think as that lineup solidifies, I think we'll see them probably emerge as the top dog. I expect them to win this division.
Now, for the Minnesota Wild, it looks like they're locked firmly into the third slot. The Utah Mammoth looks like they'll probably get the first wild card.
Yeah, they are a young, exciting team. I like the balance in their roster. And the goaltending has been pretty solid as well. I think they're definitely going to make the playoffs. And I think it's a big step for this franchise to get some playoff action and experience. I think the best is yet to come from this franchise.
Yeah, it sure is nice having Clayton Keller there. And Dylan Guenther, breakout season for him. I could see this guy potentially potting 50 goals at some point in the future. He's a real budding superstar.
So, guys, I think we all agree that there are 7 teams in, which leaves one spot open, the second wild card in the Western Conference. There's, 4, 5 teams?
I would say 4. Say 4.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so the LA Kings right now hold that spot down. Of course, lots of experience there. They really want to get in there for Anze Kopitar, who, of course, is retiring at the end of the season. But my dark horse is the San Jose Sharks. They have one of the easiest schedules down the stretch, and they've got our midseason MVP winner, Macklin Celebrini. If he can drag the Sharks in the playoffs, he might be the actual NHL MVP when it's all said and done.
And John, who do you like out of the West?
I mean, it's a tight race. I really like the San Jose Sharks as well, Mark. Macklin Celebrini, he showed his medal there in the Olympic tournament, which was quite an incredible performance. I would have to say LA. I mean, they got Panarin. They're already in that position. They have the experience. They've been there so many times. I would just give them a slight advantage.
And Mark, what about the Seattle Kraken?
Yeah, I don't know. This is a team that I've never really believed in. I know that they're only a few points out. They've not been playing that well, and I just don't see any big difference makers on that team. So, yeah, I think that they're going to slowly fall off, and we won't be talking about them in a few weeks.
I do like the acquisition of Bobby McMahon. He's fitting well there.
No, Bobby McMahon is a good player. McMahon and McCann, that's a beautiful 1-2 punch for those who enjoy wordplay, but I just don't like the way this team plays. And I just think that they're going to be an afterthought when it's all said and done.
I mean, Nashville is still right in the mix there, and Stamkos is having a pretty good year himself. Unfortunately, UC Saros is hurt. That's really going to hurt Nashville's chances. So I don't really like looking at them as a contender to make that last spot.
One note for Nashville, though, they do have 2 games left with the Kings, which is the team they're trying to catch. So if they win those 2 games, watch out. There is some veteran experience, high-end players. Roman Josi, one of the best defensemen still in the world.
For sure.
I'm not going to write them off, but yeah, Saros is going to have to get back in there.
Yeah.
And John, what about your Winnipeg Jets? Do they have a shot?
I mean, they have an outside shot. I was thinking earlier this week if they could win a couple games in a row, but they seem to flounder every time they're up against this pressure. So no, I would say they have a very, very slight chance.
I think if you've got Connor Hellebuck, you can't be written off. But yeah, they've got a lot of teams they have to pass, and they've been underwhelming recently.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I think that about wraps up the Western Conference. Let's take a look at the Eastern Conference.
No doubt the West has been wild, but the East has been absolutely bonkers.
Yes, the Atlantic Division is absolutely insane. Nobody expected the Buffalo Sabres to be topping this division at this point in the season.
It is incredible. This team has not made the playoffs in 14 years, and they've been on such a heater. The best 40-game stretch since the Detroit Red Wings in 95-96.
Yeah, it's funny because we picked them to finish last in the division. We talked about unrealized potential, and finally, the potential looks to have been realized.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power. That is a great... I mean, these guys are both number 1 picks as defensemen. That's a pretty rare combo to have. And I actually think Owen Power has not even reached his potential yet. But they do also have depth on that blue line. So I think this is a scary team.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Owen Power has been that big a part of the story. I look at a guy like Matthias Samuelsson, not known as an offensive contributor until this season. He's up to 38 points already, but his biggest contribution is definitely on the back end defensively. He's been a force. Of course, he was the winner of our mid-season award for the best defensive defenseman.
I really like the goaltending combination of Lyon and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. They've been great.
Yeah, they have been outstanding. Tampa Bay, though, I mean, they have been so good all year. And Nikita Kucherov has been on an absolute tear. He is on the best 40-game stretch since Mario Lemieux, which is quite an astounding stat.
Yeah, he is now neck and neck with the great Connor McDavid. Maybe he wins another Art Ross, but of course he's after a bigger prize.
Yeah, whether or not they win the division, this team is definitely a Stanley Cup contender.
Next up, let's talk about the Metro Division. Now, it looks like the Carolina Hurricanes have the inside track on that first seed, and they'll be battling it out with Buffalo and Tampa Bay for the first Eastern Conference team. But what about the second and third teams in the Metro?
Well, I mean, you could talk about the second, the third, the fourth, maybe even the fifth. It's a tight battle for those other spots.
Yes.
Right now, Pittsburgh holds it down by a sliver. And wow, what a story in Pittsburgh. I thought when Crosby went out, they were finished, but no, they have been even better somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Malkin went down with his 4-game suspension. They had a tough schedule, and they managed to pull it off. They are still well in the race. They could easily make the playoffs, and Crosby's back. So I'm very impressed with what the Pittsburgh Penguins were able to pull off.
And let's talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets. Wow, has Rick Bowness ever turned this team around?
No kidding.
When he came in, they were last place in the Eastern Conference. Since that time, they've been on quite the heater.
Yeah, I mean, they were one of the most disappointing teams to start the year because I had high hopes for them being a playoff, at least a playoff contender, and that's where they are now. They're now in third place. And honestly, I think they could take second place quite easily. They've been the best team in the East in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, there's been no other hotter team in the NHL other than the Buffalo Sabres. But Columbus has been on an absolute tear. Good for them. Rick Bowness, man. I mean, I love him as a Winnipeg Jets fan. He's really turned that team around.
I think for me, the guy that has to get mentioned here is Zach Werenski. I think this guy is a low-key MVP candidate at this point. He is well over a point per game and definitely the straw that stirs the drink in Columbus.
All right, guys, let's talk about the wild card. Who is on the bubble right now in the East?
Yeah, it's funny because Montreal technically in third place right now, but that could change tomorrow. Boston and Detroit, two other original six rivals, are right there nipping at their heels.
Yeah, so of those three teams, which ones do we think are the most likely to make the playoffs? Personally, I like the Montreal Canadiens' chance. I think that they're the most exciting. They have the deepest roster. I know they're young, and I know the goaltending is questionable, but I really do like their chances.
A lot of talent in the crease, but you've got two rookie goaltenders now who are carrying the torch for this team. Makes me a little bit nervous. But yeah, the offensive skill is undeniable. Cole Caulfield could get to 50 goals. Nick Suzuki has outdone himself again this year. I think Montreal's talent is there.
I would say that the Boston Bruins look pretty solid, in my opinion. I think Detroit is looking the most vulnerable.
Yeah, well, Dylan Larkin, of course, still out of the lineup. Hopefully he's back soon, because if he's not, I can't see Detroit hanging on to his spot.
Yeah, agreed. He's their most important player. If they don't have him, it's going to be tough.
And how about the New York Islanders?
Yeah, they've been fading a little bit, but I would not write off a team that's got Ilya Sorokin between the pipes. He is one of the best in the game, and the Islanders just always seem to defy expectations.
How about Matthew Schaefer, though?
Great.
50 points as an 18-year-old defenseman.
Yeah, 20 goals. It's unbelievable.
I think he could be the unanimous Rookie of the Year.
And what about the Ottawa Senators and the Philadelphia Flyers?
The Senators, I think that we all expected more from them. This was supposed to be a step forward year where maybe they make the playoffs comfortably. They're going to have to fight tooth and nail to get back in this race. The talent's there, but I don't think they're going to get it.
Yes, and missing their best defenseman in Jake Sanderson is a big problem. He may be back for the playoff push, but it may be too little too late. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's going to be a big blow for the team.
And how about the Philadelphia Flyers and the Washington Capitals? Do they have a chance still?
They're not that far behind if you look at points, but all the teams they'd have to leapfrog, they'd have to play, 800 hockey to get back in there. I just don't see either of those teams being capable of that kind of a run.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Washington has Pierre-Luc Dubois back. That's a big boon for the team. Logan Thompson is playing very well. They're going to want to get into playoffs. It's going to be a tough road. I wouldn't quite write them off just yet.
I just don't see the math working. They would have to win almost every game remaining on their schedule, and I don't think they have it in them.
Yeah, Philadelphia, they've been hungry recently. I just don't think they have the offense. I think they're going to be on the outside.
All right, guys. I think that about wraps it up.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to the stretch run. It's always exciting to see which teams can sneak in at the end, but the playoffs are coming up.
Yeah, it's funny because it already feels like playoff hockey is here with all of these tight races. But yes, we will be back in less than a month with our annual playoff preview show.
I cannot wait. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I hope you had yourselves a time.
Well, I hope you had yourselves a time. Hope you had yourselves a time. Hope you had time. Hope you had yourselves